All right, now this is my favorite way to try models. Rather than using that Google Colab thing with the web connection that is really slow, it turns out to be a lot better to just run it locally on your machine. And this is incredibly easy. You go to olama.com and you just download and install this. And it's just a normal installation process, and it has versions for Mac, Linux, and Windows. So I ran it on my Mac M1 and it ran just fine. And just earlier today, I installed it on this Intel Mac. And this is now a pretty old Intel Mac. Yeah, this is a 2018 Intel Mac. So it's pretty old by modern standards, just 6 years old. And I do notice it being kind of slow sometimes, but it runs all right here. So you just run through a normal installation process, and then it tells you, oh, Llama run Llama 2 is a way to do it. Although now there's Llama 3. And Llama is the AI from Meta, Facebook. So I just go to a terminal. Now, when you install it on the Mac, it will always automatically launch in the background. You see it up here, Llama. You can turn that in your settings so it won't constantly launch. But anyway, that's there. And now you can just run it in a terminal, which is the way I like to use it. Llama run Llama 3, which is the latest Llama model. And so when you first run it, it will download 5 gigabytes of stuff and then launch on your local machine. I've already downloaded this one, so it starts up right away. And now I can ask questions like, why is the sky blue? And it's faster than that Google thing we just looked at in Colab. And this is running on a machine without using the GPU, I think. I don't know if this old Mac has a GPU, and I don't think I've set this to use the GPU. It's a relatively slow machine, and this is pretty good. And now you can try a lot of things. So I can hit Control C to stop it if I don't want to wait around. And I can ask questions like, is the letter E in the word ketchup? See if Llama 3 can answer that. I imagine it probably can. All right, well, that's a start. Okay, good. Now, here's another question that fools these things a lot of the time. A man and a dog are on the bank of a river. He has a boat that can carry 2 entities. How many trips across the river? There. This is one that was fooling all the LLMs at least a few weeks ago, and it'll probably fool this one. We're going to see. Make it bigger. That's what I thought. Yep. Well, maybe. Ah, wait. Okay, it's adding a lot more interesting context, but it's getting it completely wrong. So we had a man and a dog. We had a boat that could carry 2 entities. We wanted to cross the river. So all we had to do was step 1. Takes him across, then he goes back to the original, then he gets in the cross, goes across without the dog. So that's it. Now that's 3 trips, and now they call it 2 trips, and the result is nonsense. The dog's on one side, the man's on the other. All the large language models are fooled by this. And again, I think this is very helpful to understand what's going on here. The reason they get this wrong is, of course, because there is a famous puzzle where you have a man and a dog and a chicken, and you had boat can only carry 2 things at a time. And if you leave the maybe there's a dog and a chicken. If you leave the dog and the chicken alone, the dog will eat the chicken. And there's some other combination. So you have to move them over in a certain pattern, and it takes several trips to move them across so that the animals left alone don't eat each other. And because that puzzle is all over the internet, the large language model has learned that puzzle. where you have to take something like 3 or 4 trips and there's several animals. And so it recognizes this description as being pretty close to the standard puzzle. So it repeats phrases it's learned from the standard puzzle answer. And this is what I keep reminding everybody I deal with. It doesn't understand the question and it doesn't understand the answer. It doesn't have enough sense to realize that after step one, the man and the dog are across the river and you're done, because it never understood what you said. It just took these words and that started it moving in a direction, and it found other phrases on the internet that had words like that and followed the phrase. So it's like somebody who doesn't understand the meaning of any words. They just listen for some sounds and then compare it to a big library of memorized phrases that have a similar sound, and they just give you the answer. So this helps see what these things are good for and what they're not good for. And all right. Anyway, this is you can try a lot of different models here. I think it's if I do /?, I think I can list all the models. Yes, show /show maybe show details for this model. I wonder if I had in my instructions the command to see all the models. There's examples here to try various things, and there's an API you can use. There's how you control launch and boot up. That's all I did here. There is some way to show the models. What models are available for OLLAMA? What models can be used with OLLAMA? Okay, they're online anyway. So there's Llama 3, Phi 3, Gemma, and 10 more rows. I'm surprised you can't give it a command to see what models are available, but at least it's available online. Here's the OLLAMA. There's the model library. So Mistral is one from France that I've heard good things about. I wonder what would happen if I did that. Let's give it a try. OLLAMA run Mistral. People tell me this one is pretty good. So it's /by to get out of this. And then OLLAMA run Mistral. Okay, now it's going to have to download it. And from the looks of this download, I'm pretty sure it's going to run in a Docker container. That's what it looks like to me, although I don't really know exactly how the internals work. But as you can see, it's not too bad. That'll probably take a few minutes. None of these others are ones I've heard of. You have an uncensored version of Llama. That's possibly interesting. That would imply that the one I'm using is censored. If I ask it to do something awful, it will probably say no. And you can see my Zoom video is delayed and choppy because my processor is apparently being burdened just by doing this download. I guess I think I upgraded my, can you hear me? Is my voice steady? Okay. Because my video is pretty bad. Okay, good. Thanks for the answer. The voice is okay. Anyway, the point is, my internet is now extremely fast here. I upgraded to 6G and moved to a new apartment, and I seem to have like 600 megs down now. So I think my network is so fast that it exceeds the speed of my CPU, able to store the data as it comes down. Normally, I would think a download would not burden the machine very much because the network is slow, but not here. So now it's good. It's downloading stuff. Won't take too long before I have Mistral, I think. And I'd like to try it on this hard question. There we are. There's my question. Oh, good. It's ready. So, oh, it's running. Good. So now I'm just going to paste that question somewhere and clean it up because it had some extra carriage returns and continuation marks in it. There. Okay, let's see what Mistral makes of this question about the man and the dog. Wow. Nope, there he goes, making the same mistake. Then return empty to pick up the man. That's interesting and pretty strange. Oh, there's another one that fools these models. Joe has one sister and two brothers. How many brothers does Joe's sister have? So that's one that they usually can't answer. Yep, you can't understand it. And I imagine this might be for the same reason. I don't know, but it can't. I don't think it can understand this construction, Joe's sister, but it gets them wrong. Any construction like that. So, it shows the limitations of these things. All right. Anyway, that's I think a more fun way to try different models. And what's especially important is you can see how fast these are and how useful they are when running on a normal machine like a laptop, and they're not too bad. You can run a fairly modern model, and it runs fast enough to be pretty useful. /buy. All right. All right. So that's what I wanted to show you. I'm going to stop this one.